Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Thursday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini, and we finally have some actual news on the Aaron Rodgers front. This afternoon at about 1:10 Eastern Time, Aaron Rodgers was on the Pat McAfee Show on there for almost an hour. We got to hear his thoughts on the Steelers, his visit there, what he thinks of Mike Tomlin, what he's thinking right now about his career and where he is at in life and whatnot. We are going to get to that in a matter of moments. Also going to talk some Pittsburgh Pirates today, talk about their last two games, the one from last night and the one that they just wrapped up about 2 hours ago, winning both of those games against the Washington Nationals. Not much Penguins news other than tonight will be their final game of the regular season. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers taking the forefront again here today. I'm going to pull up my handy dandy note sheet right here on Aaron Rodgers. News came out around noon today that he was going to be on McAfee Show at 1:10. He wanted, when Rodgers first came on, he said the reason why he was on Pat's show today was to clean up some of his quote BS rumors and reports out there about him, mainly his sister and another family member or friend coming to him with, everything that's out there on the internet right now about Rodgers. So he wanted to come on, clear the air, and get all of this off his chest. First off, he said that he has a lot going on in his personal life that are non-football issues with the people he cares about in his inner circle. First off, I hope everything is okay with you and your people, Aaron. I know that you get a bad rap from some people, but hey, if your family members and whatnot are going through some stuff, take care of them and take care of yourself. He said that he is staying in shape and working out. He's not just sitting around at his house in Malibu, going on the beach every day, doing nothing. He said he's in the weight room, he's working out, staying in shape. And he said that he spoke with various teams, not one of which aren't the New York Jets, which there was a good portion of that segment dedicated to the New York Jets and just how much he hates the way that they dealt with him on his way out the door. Before I go any further, first off, 7 of you in here right now. Thank you all very, very much. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live. Like and comment on this stream and comment in the live chat. I enjoy interacting with you fine folks and talking about these things when you do. Now back to Aaron Rodgers. One of the things that he denied right off the bat was, I believe it was a report or a rumor by Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk saying that Rodgers is demanding a 2-year deal at around $30 to $40 million. He said, I told every single one of the teams that he's talking to, it ain't about the money. I said I'll play for $10 million. So shutting down the speculations out there that he's looking for a multi-year deal at what will be 42 years old, and that he's looking for big money, $30 to $40 million again. Also, taking a shot at Steelers legendary quarterback Ben Roethlisberger as well, saying that Big Ben's claim or hypothesis of Rodgers wanting to wait things out till the Minnesota Vikings come calling for him is completely false. The only thing that Rodgers mentioned on today's show about the Vikings was him talking with Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell, who is good friends with Rodgers last season. Next, of course, like I just said, talking about how things blew up with the New York Jets, met with New York Jets new head coach Aaron Glenn, and said that Glenn was only in there for a matter of moments before the new general manager walked in, said they're going a different direction, and Aaron thought that was, pretty brisk and unprofessional for him flying out from California back to New York on his own nickel and dime. Talking about teams that he has been in contact with, he said that he's been in touch with a few of those. One of them was the New York Giants. Said he talked with Giants head coach Brian Daboll, though that's probably not going to be the case now, him being a Giant after they signed Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. That's when he mentioned Kevin O'Connell as a good friend and how they had conversations last season. And he did not mention the New Orleans Saints at all during this. McAfee, or one of the members on his show, mentioned, like, hey, what teams are you talking to? You know, Giants, Vikings, New Orleans Saints are in there now. Rodgers did not mention any of the Saints, so I'm going to take that as he's had little to no conversations with them. And now he's then got into the Steelers very extensively. He said that when he met with the Steelers in their facility a couple of weeks ago on a Friday, said that he tried to do it as quietly as possible. He flew to a different airport other than Pittsburgh International Airport, so a smaller airport in or around Pittsburgh, got in a Malibu rental, and he drove himself to the Steelers facility, did not go in the main doors, didn't walk right in the front of the building. He went around the back side towards the practice fields and went in that way away from some of the cameras. There was also a picture out there, I believe, from Ed Thompson, who at the time took a picture of a man driving a Malibu behind him after waiting all day for Rodgers to come out, and it turns out that that was Rodgers, so he did confirm that. But talking about his visit with the Steelers, he said that he had a good talk with Mike Tomlin, and that his conversation with Tomlin, sort of learning more about him, talking to him more in depth, Tomlin is more than he thought from afar. So whatever expectations Aaron Rodgers had for Mike Tomlin, Tomlin must have blew those out of the water as a guy that Rodgers likes. He also talked about him having a couple-year relationship now with Steelers offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, saying that he is just amazed that a guy who literally could get an office job where he does nothing and get paid because his dad is the owner of FedEx. He's amazed at his work ethic in Arthur Smith, and he's had a good relationship with him for a little while now. And he also talked about Steelers quarterback coach Tom Arth, who was his old quarterback coach up in Green Bay. Those guys hit it off up there. They hit it off here in Pittsburgh last season when the Jets played the Steelers, I believe, on Monday Night Football. And yeah, said it was good reuniting with Tom Arth. And one of the main reasons why he traveled to Pittsburgh, in his words, was he wanted to get a little snippet, glimpse of what life could be like in Pittsburgh if he were to sign. So moving on, he said he's been upfront with the Steelers, said if they need to move on, he would understand, in that he has talked with Mike Tomlin many times, but doesn't owe it to anybody to make a decision by a certain time. So he said he didn't see it as fair to an organization or himself, with everything going on in his life right now, to make a full commitment as long as he is going through those things. So said there's not any imminent timetable or deadline for a signing, that he doesn't want to commit fully with the things going on in his life, that him meeting with Mike Tomlin went well, and that he's remained in touch with him many times, and that he's been upfront with not only the Steelers but the other teams as well, that, hey, I'm here, like, we'll stay in touch, but if you guys got to go a different route, then go a different route. Really, throughout this whole interview, he was really showing his age on that camera, in my opinion. And you know, the way he was talking, he more and more sounded like he was thinking about retirement than he did say that retirement is an option. Let me find that. Where did I pass that up here? I had it somewhere here, but yeah, he said that retirement is still on the table very, very much. He's not holding anybody hostage. I've been up front from the very beginning, he said there. And Yeah, I do not know where that went. Right here. I'm open to anything attached to nothing is what he said when he said, I'll play for $10 million and that retirement could be a possibility. So going back to the old saying, once you're saying that retirement is an option, you're already retired there. So if I had to guess, Rodgers, he's leaning more towards calling it quits than playing football this upcoming season. He then talked about DK Metcalf and the throwing practice session that they had at UCLA a couple of weeks ago as well. Said that he heard, knew where DK was training at UCLA, got in touch with him, and met with him at 8 a.m. for that throwing session and called DK a great dude and a specimen. And that was him doing his due diligence, throwing with DK, kind of getting a feel for what it would be like throwing to him in an NFL game. Pat tried to get a confirmation out of Rodgers that he was going to be going to the Steelers, and Rodgers once again reiterated open to anything attached to nothing, and that's when he said again it doesn't seem fair for him to make a full commitment with everything going on in his life. Said he wanted to keep the lines of communication open and has talked to Mike Tomlin on many times again. Added NFL draft now 6 days away. Said that the draft does not and will not affect anything he is going through or anything that he will do. So even if the Steelers decide to draft a Jackson Dart, Shadur Sanders, Will Howard, whatever it may be, Rodgers could still very well end up signing with the Steelers and going wherever there may be a quarterback already in place. Hasn't watched any tape on the NFL draft prospects, but has seen a bit of training. Vastin Genti was another thing that he said there. Jokingly apologized to Pat for not making a decision or announcement by or at his big night out event in Pittsburgh the last week. Said that the unnecessarily raised the expectations for Pat's show there, and just jokingly apologized to that, making a mockery of that being a deadline in lots of people's heads. And he wrapped up things by saying to those reporting on him that aren't in his inner circle, so your Adam Schefters, Diana Rossini's, basically all these big national reporters, said that if you're reporting on them making a buck, if you're reporting on him making a buck off his name, move on, and that there's no reason to talk about him anymore because this process is just going to keep on dragging out. No announcement or decision from him is going to be imminent. So the deadline of him signing with the Steelers before voluntary offseason workouts begin next week, that's, it doesn't matter. The draft, it doesn't matter. He might even wait until well into training camp to make a decision if he really wants to. As soon as Rodgers got off, Pat and his crew said that they feel as if Aaron Rodgers is going to play football, it will be in Pittsburgh. I echo that sentiment because right now it's retirement or Pittsburgh for Rodgers. Nothing's going to be imminent, so we all might as well save our breath here from here on out until we see the finalized pen to paper announcement that Rodgers is signed or retired. And really, I think I saw Nick Faribault on X point this out. Really, Rodgers took the Art Rooney II approach to this interview. I'm going to talk and talk and talk, say a whole lot without saying nothing at all. Really like a lawyer approach to it. So interesting to see what you guys think about it. If you went and watched Rodgers live on McAfee's show today, what was your biggest takeaway from it? He's not going to make a decision anytime soon, in my opinion. So it's full steam ahead here to the draft. We'll see if the Steelers, if they are going to just hold out hope for Rodgers to sign and take a quarterback in the middle rounds of the draft, or if they are going to look at that and say, hey, he's not going to make a decision soon. And if they read it like I am, he's leaning more towards retirement. We got to take a big swing, go get Shedeur Sanders or Jackson Dart, maybe Jalen Milroe early in the draft on Thursday night. We are a week out from the draft now, so hopefully the Steelers already made up their mind on what they're going to do in the draft before hearing what Aaron Rodgers had to say. So, Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, we're on quarterback watch Thursday and Friday night for the Steelers. Some actual news about Friday night's draft as it relates to the Steelers. That's going to be coming up a little bit later in the show. But again, hope you all comment in the live chat here, wondering what you guys saw about Aaron Rodgers, his comments on the Steelers, saying that the meeting went well and that he tried to sneak in and out quietly. Him saying that he's staying in touch with Mike Tomlin right now, that he's had good relationships with Arthur Smith and Tom Arth, the quarterback coach. So 9 of you in here right now, appreciate it very, very much. Like, comment in the live chat, and share this stream. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, get the chats going here a little bit. Would love to strike up a conversation with you fine folks. In the meantime, going to keep things rolling here. Let me put this banner up here. Didn't really put any banners together for today's video. Going to talk about the Pittsburgh Pirates a little bit. So when we left off last night, got off right before Game 3 of the 4-game series against the Washington Nationals got underway. Going to fast forward a bit into the game here. Bailey Falter was outstanding, starting pitching through 80 pitches in 7 shutout innings, faced 21 batters, so saw 21, got 21 out, gave up 2 hits and a walk. I believe also had 2 strikeouts, if I'm not mistaken. So great outing from him. Henry Davis had a solo home run, pulls everything he makes contact with, and this time he just kept it fair off the foul pole. Also, drove in another RBI on a broken bat ground out, which the bat literally went further than the ball. Third baseman had to wait a second and then go and get the ball, make the out. And then in the bottom of the 7th inning, that is when all hell broke loose. So I believe a runner was on first base at the time. Jorge Lopez, relief pitcher for the Washington Nationals, comes into the game. One guy gets on base, plunks Brian Reynolds right on the elbow. Reynolds batting lefty, so his throwing arm elbow plunks Reynolds there. And then Andrew McCutchen comes up to bat right behind Reynolds. I believe it was a 2-1 count. Lopez, 93 miles an hour fastball right at Andrew McCutchen's head. Kutch, thankfully, 38 years old, still has the natural reflexes and speed to get out of the way of that ball. He comes up wondering, like, really throwing at my head. Jorge Lopez calls him soft. You see Paul Skeens and Tommy Pham standing up in the dugout. They're ready to hop over the fence. Derek Shelton comes out, asks the umpires to get together and either issue a warning or toss Jorge Lopez. That's when Kutch and Lopez start jawing at each other. Benches clear. Not too much. All just come together. Sort of a hold me back fest while we all stand, not even pushing each other. And Tommy Pham, he was the only one really ready to fight during that whole thing. O'Neal Cruz holding him back. So Lopez gets ejected from the game. And for those of you wondering, it was completely intentional on Lopez's part to throw at McCutchen and Reynolds. Lopez was a part of the Chicago Cubs last year when the Pirates came back against the Cubs in the 8th inning at Wrigley Field. I believe it was Brian Reynolds hit a 3-run home run to tie the game, and then McCutchen not too long after hit a solo home run to take the lead. So the Bucks a comeback win in Wrigley last year at Lopez's expense. So he plunks Reynolds with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball, almost hits McCutchen in the head with a 93 miles an hour fastball. That also, him throwing at McCutchen's head could be him feeling it was warranted for Mitch Keller the night before, hitting Paul DeYoung in the face with a fastball. He, I believe, got a concussion and was put on the IL. But anyways, hits Reynolds, throws at McCutchen, bench is clear, Lopez gets tossed, and pitcher cold out of the bullpen and comes in. And then first pitch, O'Neal Cruz, a cruise missile, just launches one out in a hurry for a grand slam over the Clemente wall. Bucks hang on to win 6-1 on against the Nationals last night. Just a wild game, grand slam, hit by pitch, benches clearing, and also there was a weird 7-3 put out left fielder throwing to first base, getting Tommy Pham out after O'Neal Cruz, who was at first base, didn't know if the ball was caught or not. This morning announced the MLB wasted no time in suspending Jorge Lopez for 3 games. He's going to appeal that suspension. Also, Nationals manager Dave Roberts got a 1-game suspension for last night's activities. Now, talking about this afternoon's game, some health returning to the Pirates lineup. Joey Bart was back in there after about a week off with a back injury he caught today and was batting 4th. Also, Brian Reynolds returned to the field, playing in right field, and McCutchen was back to being a designated hitter. First inning, O'Neal Cruz, really the only offense of the day, literally the only offense of the day. As a matter of fact, Cruz missile to begin the game, batting leadoff, and the rest of it from there was the Pirates offense being stagnant as all hell. There was one situation where they had runners on base with nobody out and the heart of the lineup, and they all got out in a row. It was the Andrew Heaney party today, who is celebrating his 10 years of Major League service. The Pirates doing a nice little, I guess you would, cupcake and watermelon stand for him in the locker room. So celebrating 10 years of MLB service for him, and he celebrated it himself, going 7 1/3, giving up 5 hits, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, no runs. So Andrew Heaney arrived, shoved, and left. And Ryan Barucki came in to get the final 2 outs in the 8th, and then Dennis Santana came in to get 2 outs in the 9th. Also, Key Brian Hayes made a phenomenal play in the 8th inning to keep the ball game tied. He deserves the platinum glove already this year. So Bucks hold on, 1-0 victory. Need to figure it out on offense. You never know whether they're going to put up 6 to 10 runs like they did last night, or whether they're going to barely scratch one across like they did today. They're now 8-12 on the season. Only downside from the past 2 games, and really it's us fans seeing that what we're seeing on the field, even though you just won the series, isn't good enough. Under around 8,500 fans last night for last night's game. That was, according to Noah Hiles of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. The 9 games have been played at PNC Park this season. 5 of those have been under 9,000 people in attendance. And to put that in perspective, only on one occasion last year did that few amount of people showed up to the ball game. So fans clearly upset with the product on the field. The attendance today was a smidge under 13,000, so a little better, but still not good enough. Sell the team, Bob, because 3 out of 4 for the Nationals is good, but if you were truly an elite team, you would have won those games in convincing fashion. And maybe even sweep them. And we're going to transition things now. One more time, going to talk about the Bucco Bricks situation here. So this morning, Pirates president Travis Williams, along with Buccos legends Steve Blass, Bob Walk, and others from the organization, they all joined elected officials, regional elected officials, and on one of the sidewalks outside PNC Park, they revealed a new permanent, one of the first of a few new permanent markers commemorating moments in Pirates history at Three Rivers Field. One of those, the one that they revealed today, I should say, was Roberto Clemente, where he would have been standing in right field if Three Rivers Stadium was still around today. The Pittsburgh Steelers have done something similar, much closer down the street towards Heinz Field. They have a placard on the sidewalk down there and sort of the street with yard markers of where Franco Harris caught the immaculate reception. So it looks like the Pirates are doing similar things here, starting with a Roberto Clemente plaque on the sidewalk outside PNC Park. And during that time, media caught up with Travis Williams, and they were asking him about the Bucco Bricks, about the attendance, and how he and the Pirates front office view their relationship with the fan base right now, as it would be with the fan base, the relationship with the fan base. Williams said, "At the end of the day, our fans are first and foremost in our minds. That's my job to make sure we build that relationship and that trust with them. Obviously, in the last couple of weeks, we've had a couple of issues with that, but we've obviously owned up to those mistakes. They were mistakes on our part, and we're sorry for those, but we're looking forward and hoping to build that trust and that relationship back with our fan base." Funny there in that quote how he went from, last week when this whole Bucco Bricks dilemma was at a fever pitch, how he said it was solely his fault. And now there he said, oh, it was our fault. So whose fault is it? In that quote alone, you're lying to the fans. It's either you yourself took ownership of it, or it was the front office as a collective, because just double standards right there. Also talking about this relationship that you've had with the fan base. The Pirates haven't had a relationship with the fan base for some time now. It's only now this season that we're beginning to chant sell the team, boycotting going to these games with the low attendances, booing the manager, heckling the owner when we see him in public, because for years you didn't give a crap what the fans think. You've done the same thing for years on end now, where we're going to go into the offseason, we're going to spend bare minimum dollar, bring in veterans below their prime, or guys who have, barely made it above AAA ball and have like a 7.8 ERA. And just talking about relationship with the fan base, building the relationship back up with the fan base. This will be your first time under your tenureship, Travis Williams and Bob Nutting, that a relationship ever becomes formed with the fan base. Talking about the attendance numbers, Williams said that he's not concerned. No, I'm not concerned. Obviously, the weather has not been our friend, and we'll bet the team performance has had some impact on that as well, both of which I'm confident will get better. I'm looking forward to better weather days like we have this afternoon, and I'm looking forward to better performances on the field as well. Well, not really sure how much the weather played a handle in that. The weather hasn't played a factor in that as much as you want to think, Travis Williams. Just a couple of nights ago when you had Paul Skeens on the mound, it was a 70-degree night, and you barely had 10,000 people in the seats to watch Paul Skeens. So it definitely is more of the product on the field than it is the weather. Hell, up in New York, I'm going to steal this Pat McAfee Show's Ty Schmidt today. By the way, after Rodgers, logged off the Pat McAfee Show, Pat and his boys, they went full scorched earth on the Pirates and how cheap they are and just how they don't give a crap about baseball, spending little to no money. Ty Schmidt said this up in New York. They had the same amount of weather, 30, 40 degree nights up there at Yankee Stadium, and still they packed that out with 43,000 people. So don't criticize the weather unless it is a freaking, natural disaster that people aren't showing up to the ball field. It is all performance on the field. Also fitting, if you ever go and see any pictures or videos of Travis Williams getting interviewed, funny how there's a trash can literally behind him in the clip, and also smart on him, tells you all the common sense in the world that those in the Pirates front office have. In the backdrop, he's got Heinz Field, when literally he could have said, oh, hey, let me, angle myself here about, 60 degrees, 90 degrees that way. So then you're shooting with PNC Park in the background instead of, the team in town that really makes all the headlines. So just continued incompetence. Also, at that plaque reveal was Roberto Clemente Jr. and his family. So that must have made one hell of an awkward meeting between Williams and the Clemente family after the whole Clemente logo being taken off of the right field wall a couple of weeks ago. And Clemente Jr. and I believe his son threw out the ceremonial first pitch today in memory of his dad on the anniversary of his debut in 1955. So, yep. Before I get into some Penguins news here, just gonna hit on some minor Pirates news as well. Brett Sullivan, there was a trade, I believe it was last night or 2 nights ago. Brett Sullivan, catcher for the San Diego Padres, was traded to the Bucks for Brett Johnson, I believe it was. Whatever the hell the guy's first name was. Johnson, outfielder from spring training. He got sent back to San Diego. Brett Sullivan came to Pittsburgh. He was in the Pirates locker room today on a taxi squad basis, and Abraham Gutierrez got sent back down to the minors. So Sullivan most likely going to get assigned back down to the minors as well, with Joey Bart back and healthy. And how about this? We have some breaking news, actually. So let me let me get to the comments here. John Edberg, welcome. The Rodgers discussions are exhausting. He isn't winning a ring for the Steelers, so it is about media and podcast getting engagement, time for cash. That's exactly what it is. And Rodgers, I think he's holding out for a Super Bowl contender to come calling. Other than that, he's probably going to retire. Now, could he see the Steelers as a Super Bowl contender with him at the helm? In his mind, he thinks that's true. But honestly, that is not the case whatsoever. Steelers, if they don't take a quarterback high this year, they definitely are going to try to get their franchise of the future next year. So my takeaway from the Rodgers interview today is that he is probably 65% retired, 35% playing next year. Those percentages could change as time goes on here, but his focus is nowhere near football. And when you're talking about retirement, you're already retired in your mind. If he comes to Pittsburgh, it's going to be a disaster. And yeah, I'm media and podcast getting engagement time and cash for it. I mean, I'm not, getting cash for talking about this, and I'm exhausted for it. So, just Adam Schefter, I think, is who he was really shooting at with that quote right there, because he and Adam Schefter, ESPN senior NFL insider, they have had their spats before, and it has been ugly. Okay, gonna get to the breaking news here. Hang on. So this not entirely related to the Pirates, but still interesting enough. The Colorado Rockies have relieved hitting coach Hensley Mullins of his duties. And how about this? Lacing up the cleats again, putting a jersey back on. Assistant general manager of the Rockies, Clint Hurdle, has been named the new hitting coach for the remainder of the season. So interim hitting coach, not the official hitting coach. So welcome back to the MLB to an MLB dugout, Clint Hurdle. Please, for the love of God, come back and save us. If we ever decide to fire Derek Shelton, if there is a vacancy next season for the Pirates managerial role, you won't be at the top of my list, but you'll be up there because what's the saying? You don't realize how good you have something until it's gone, and that's exactly what happened in this case with you there, Clint. So welcome back to the MLB. Scrolling through Twitter here now that I have seen that. I'm going to see what else here is going on. Ray Fittipaldo, Steelers insider for 93.7 The Fan, says that he now puts it, like me, at below a 50% chance that Aaron Rodgers will sign with the Steelers. Yes, it is very, very low now, the chances of him signing, not just with the Steelers, but signing with any team and playing at all. The chances of that have gone down significantly. You know, there was a big drop after the Pat McAfee big night out. There was an even bigger drop once word came out that he's looking for that, you know, the Steelers are probably looking for an answer for him before the voluntary offseason workouts begin next week. And now what he said here today lowers that even more. Okay, going to bring up some Penguins news here in a matter of moments. Okay, indeed. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins real quick. So, said it at the beginning of the show. Tonight, the final game of the regular season that is at home against the Washington Capitals. I believe that game is on the ESPN or TNT, one of those two national broadcasts tonight at 7 p.m. Penguins held a morning skate this morning. Mike Sullivan, Alex Nedeljkovic has been confirmed to be in net tonight. Kevin Hayes will be a game time decision. He did not practice tomorrow, or he did not practice yesterday, I should say, when the news of Chris Letang's heart surgery came out. He did not practice then, was not on the ice for the optional morning skate today. P.O. Joseph, defenseman, will not play tonight, still on injured reserve, so his season ends with him on the shelf. And the Pens, though they did call up Sam Poulin from Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, according to the NHL's transactions page this morning, though he got called up, the Pens could go with an 11 forwards and 7 defensemen lineup here tonight. So we'll have to wait and see. Also, if you're looking for something to, you know, pay attention to tonight, if Sidney Crosby gets a single point tonight, he will become the 6th player in NHL history and the first player in nearly 20 years to record a 90-plus point season at age 37 or older. So look out for Sid to get at least 1 point tonight. I do not doubt so whatsoever that he will record a point. So here's to Sid, hoping that you accomplish that feat tonight, and really a year with him full of milestones. Speaking of, you know, it's been him and Alex Ovechkin outdoing each other this year. Those two have carried the league forever, and this year it seems like both of them have accomplished some pretty lofty accolades and milestones. Speaking of Alex Ovechkin, we're going to see the Crosby-Ovechkin rivalry live on for at least another year or two. Ovechkin today said that he will not be retiring after this season, so good to see that my childhood gets to live on for a little bit longer. Okay, let's hit on a couple of other loose news stories. So we just talked about Ovechkin not retiring. That was one of them. Today, this from Steelers Community Relations. Today, the Steelers held their annual Committee Partnership Appreciation Breakfast to recognize and celebrate the collective work of our partners, the difference that they make in the community. Art Rooney II, Jerome Bettis, and Senior NFL Vice President of Social Responsibility, Anna Isaacson, were in attendance to share appreciation and say thank you to all of the Steelers partners. And speaking of the Steelers and speaking of the draft, I will be live for round 1 of the NFL draft on Thursday night. Same thing goes for at least Friday night for rounds 2 and 3. And speaking of the third round, the Steelers' third round pick currently, number 83, there will be a special guest on stage announcing that pick for Pittsburgh, and none other than Steelers legend and Hall of Fame wide receiver Lynn Swann. So hopefully that Steelers legend right there hopefully gets to, he'll make the announcement of what hopefully will be a future legend of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Will be great to see Swanee on the stage in Green Bay next Friday. Five of you in here right now. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. Also, you can like and share this stream, comment in the live chat, just like John did here earlier. Going to take one more moment here before I have to log off for the evening. Have other things to attend to, so it's going to be a quick stream here tonight. Just going to do a quick stroll here through Twitter, make sure I am not missing anything before I get off. Andrew Filipponi 2 hours ago, this Rodgers situation is a mess, and right now I don't blame Aaron. He's got personal stuff going on. He let the Steelers know that's on them. Have a better plan. Yeah, at the end of this, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't become a Steeler, there is blame to go on the Steelers definitely for how they've approached this. They missed Michigan's Pro Day with one of a possible first-round pick for them in Kenneth Grant. They've missed a handful of other things and have had their focus on Aaron Rodgers compared to other issues as well. So definitely will be interesting to see the reaction if Aaron Rodgers ultimately decides to hang it up or go somewhere else. Scrolling here, seeing the photos again. That photo is in my thumbnail for this video, actually, of Rodgers in that Chevy Malibu that he drove himself to the Steelers facility. Really, in that picture, though, hood up, hat on, sunglasses on, really going incognito mode, trying to get in and out of the Steelers facility. Almost did it, too, without anybody knowing. Almost made it. He was there early in the morning, he said, and it was around a little after noon that Jerry Dulac was the first to report he was there. Okay, not seeing anything else there. timeline filled with some WWE stuff as well, with WrestleMania coming up this weekend. So with that, I think that's going to do it. Was honestly going to be just a pirate-centric show for me here today until got the notification Aaron Rodgers was going to be on McAfee this afternoon. So that provided a lot for me to talk about. But I'm going to log off there. So thank you all very much for joining me here tonight. Like, share, and comment this stream. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Hope you all join me back here around the same time, between 5 and 6-ish tomorrow night, to wrap up the week. And then next week, it's draft week. The Christmas of the NFL offseason getting closer and closer, getting excited about that, and the streams I'm going to be doing for that, for the NFL draft this year. So with that, thank you all very much. Hope you all have a good rest of your evening. I appreciate you all for joining me, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow. Love you all. Peace.